Good morning and Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I am Mohammad Jammie of grade 1st. Today we will learn about the elements of periodic table. Anyways, do you know which is the longest word in English language? Yes, it is pneumonia ultramicroscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Trust me, the name of every element in periodic table is as hard to pronounce as this longest word is. Like hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, gallium, germanium, arsenic, selenium, bromine, krypton, rubidium, strontium, yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silver, cadmium, indium, tin, antimony, tellurium, iodine, xenon, francium, radium, rutherfordium, Dubinium, Symposium, Borium, Hazium, Deuterium, Darmstadium, Copernicium, Rhodium, Anatrium, Fallorovium, Ananpentium, Levomorium, Anansatium, Ananotium, Lanthanum, Cerium, Praseodymium, Neodymium, Promethium, Samarium, Europium, Gadolinium, Terbium, Dysprosium, Helium, Erbium, Thulium, etc. To my surprise, 96% of my body is made up of only 4 elements of periodic table, which are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. To learn more about the elements of periodic table, let's begin with some basic definitions like science. Science is a systematical and methodical approach to understand natural worlds through observation, experimentation, and analysis. It aims to generate knowledge and explanations about phenomena based on evidence and logical reasoning. Atom. An atom is the basic unit of matter consisting of a nucleus composed of protons and neutrons surrounded by electrons. Protons have positive charge, neutrons have no charge, electrons have negative charge. Atoms are the building blocks of all chemical elements and are the smallest unit of an element that retains its chemical properties. Element. An element in periodic table is pure chemical substance consisting of one type of atoms. Each element is characterized by its unique atomic number, which corresponds to the number of protons in nucleus of its atoms. Examples of elements include hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and iron. Substance. In general sense, substance refers to any particular kind of matter with uniform properties. It can also refer to the essential nature or essence of something. Matter. Matter is defined as anything that has mass and occupies space. It's composed of atoms and molecules. It exists in various states including solid, liquid, and gas. Periodic table. The periodic table is a visual representation of all known chemical elements arranged by atomic number, electron configuration, and recurring chemical properties. Initially created by Mendeleev in 1869, it has been key tool in chemistry for understanding the behavior of elements. However, the crafter of modern periodic table is Henry Moseley, who devised it in 1913, obviously to overcome and address the loopholes in previous version of periodic table. The periodic table is organized into rows and columns. The rows are called periods and the columns are called groups. Elements in the same group share similar chemical properties due to their identical valence electron configuration. The periods represents the number of electron shells, while the group indicates the number of valence electron. Some important groups include alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, halogens, etc. Next slide, please. The periodic table also categorizes elements as metals, non-metals, metallites based on their properties. Metals are typically shiny, malleable, and good conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are dull, brittle, and poor conductors. The metallites exhibits the properties of both metals and non-metals. Next slide, please. Now let's discuss some important elements of periodic table grouped together. The elements of first group, except hydrogen, are called alkali metals. Like we have lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. These elements are very reactive and they always combine with something else in nature, like sodium combines with chloride to form common salt or sodium chloride. Next slide, please. The elements in second group are called alkaline earth metals. These elements are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium. These elements are actually reactive metals that are always combined with non-metals in nature. Several of these elements are important mineral nutrients, for example, calcium, etc. Next slide, please. The elements in group from 3 to 12 are called transition metals. These are harder and are less reactive in nature. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They have high melting and boiling points, except mercury, which is liquid at room temperature. These are usually used in constructions, jewelry, money, etc. Next slide, please. The elements in group 13 are called boron family. These include boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium, and yttrium. Boron exhibits the properties of both metals and non-metals. All other elements otherwise in this group are metals. Next slide, please. The elements in group 14 called carbon family are very important as it contains elements which are essential to life and computers. Carbon is the basic element in all organic compounds. All the elements of this group like carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, etc. are very important for the existence of life. For example, silicon and germanium are important semiconductors used in making ICs, chips of computers and electronic devices. Next slide, please. In the 15th group lies elements nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth and potassium. This group is called nitrogen family. Nitrogen exists in gaseous form and more than 3/4 of our atmosphere is made up of it. All the elements of this group exist in polyatomic state. Nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals, arsenic and antimony are metallides, and bismuth is a metal. Nitrogen has some important uses like it is used in making fertilizers, nylon, dyes, explosives, etc. Next slide, please. Now we have oxygen family in group 16. Other than oxygen, we have sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium in this group. As we know, oxygen is the important ingredient for life to exist on Earth. Oxygen and sulfur are non-metals. Selenium and tellurium are metallides, and polonium is a metal. Under typical conditions, polonium is a radioactive element. The elements of this group are also called as chalcogens. Next slide, please. The elements present in group 17 are called halogens. These include fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. These are strangely soluble in water tend to form negative anions and are found as diatomic molecules. They have low melting and boiling points. They are very reactive and are always found as combined with other elements in nature. Next slide, please. In the group 10 of periodic table are some naughty elements called noble gases. These include helium, neon, krypton, argon, xenon, radon. These are colorless, odorless, tasteless, and non-flammable. Under standard conditions, noble gases have very low melting and boiling points. They are non-reactive in their natural states and are commonly known as inert gases. These were some physical properties of elements in periodic table. In my next talk, I will come up with their chemical properties like electron configuration, atomic size, weight, etc. Next slide, please. Now we have elements used in everyday life. That's it. Thank you very much.